Why is it always one man dating multiple women and never one woman dating multiple men? Is a question that I see quite a lot on polyamory TikTok. And I wanted to take the opportunity to answer this because even though there are women who date multiple men and women who date multiple women and men who date multiple men and literally any other configuration of genders that exist, this is a thing. And the reason for this is that we live in a heteronormative society. We live in a world where historically men have been given much more license to roam, and it's much more socially acceptable for men to have multiple partners in most societies than for women to have multiple partners. And this has real impacts on the beliefs that we grew up with, the things that we internalize, the biases that we might still hold. And that manifests itself in the real world, even in very progressive communities like the polyamorous community. Practices like unicorn hunting, where a couple essentially seeks a third to fulfill their desires and discard once they're not fun anymore, and the one penis policy, where a man will prevent his bisexual girlfriend or wife from having other male partners or partners with a penis, are very common, unfortunately, and is indicative of the homophobic and misogynist beliefs that we still hold as a community. Now, this is not to say that all FFM triads are instances of unicorn hunting and the one penis policy. Absolutely not. I'm not saying that at all. There are many ethical FFM triads that do form organically, and everyone in them is genuinely happy, and that is great. But I do think that the prevalence of FFM triads and their popularity in media representations and online is indicative of the societal beliefs that we're still holding onto. I think there's also something to be said for the fact that because of the way men are socialized and the fact that the bar is literally on the floor, it's really difficult to find one decent man, never mind two. And so if you're a bisexual woman, say, why would you want to date two men when you could date a man and a woman? On the flip side, though, I do think that this question can sometimes be biphobic, because when you see an FFM triad, a lot of people focus on how the man has multiple girlfriends, rather than focusing on the fact that both of the women in the situation also have two partners. It's almost like the relationship between the two women is minimized and even just forgotten about in some scenarios because everyone's freaking out about how the guy has multiple girlfriends. These women chose to be in that dynamic. They are likely very happy in that dynamic. They're not being oppressed or anything because they don't want another male partner. That's their own choice. And that's their prerogative. A man telling his female partner that she's not allowed to date other men is very different from a woman deciding for herself that she only wants to have one man in her life. That's completely valid. And so, sure, call out the people with one penis policies. Call out the unicorn hunters who are preying on bisexual women. But there's absolutely no need to give FFM triads, which are ethically and consensually negotiated, so much flack, because ultimately everyone consented to that dynamic and everyone is happy, so leave them the fuck alone.